I see how it breaks you down. I see how it messes you around.
If anyone's an alternative icon, Henry Rollins is. For 5 years, he fronted the seminal LA hardcore band Black Flag, and he's since moved on to form the Rollins Band, start his own publishing company, and toured the world over as a spoken word performer and as singer with both the Rollins Band and a side project called Wartime. Here is the first of 5 installments of the 120 Minutes interview with Henry Rollins. Henry, we know about Black Flag, we know about Wartime, we know about Rollins Band, but more than that, you have an aura. You have just an intensity about you, which I want to find out more about. Tell me a little bit about your background. You grew up in Washington, D.C., right?
True.
With what kind of family?
Dysfunctional.
Okay.
Well, you know,
like the rest of us, right?
well, it seems to be, at least in America, a trait. I think America's one huge dysfunctional family. But anyway, my parents were the typical urban warriors. You know, they both worked, you know, 9 to 9, and I lived pretty much with my mom, and I just kind of raised myself. I mean, there's always food on the table and all that, but she was busy working. I'd get home from school, I'd let myself in, play records, space out in my room, do little kid things, and I just kind of raised myself, so I listened to a lot of music and just was a very insular young man, and now I'm kind of an insular man approaching middle age.
Would you say then that your musical and artistic career has been a kind of therapy for you? Have you consciously used it like that?
Poor man's therapy. It's the only reason why I play music. I mean, people are into music for different reasons, and unless you're doing music to hurt people, I think all the reasons are valid. If you want to have a band to get the chicks, well, go on. If you want to have a band to go get the bucks, well, okay. I mean, I'm not going to stop you, but for me, music has been a way to get what's inside outside. And that's all I do music for. And just, it's, you know, something's on your mind, you know, it's the blues, all music, you know, with the Rollins Band, Black Flag, for me is all just blues music. Something hurts, you sing it out, and you don't feel so bad anymore. It's a function, it gets it out. That's why I like touring so much, you know, so I can go on stage and just hit it in a real, and express myself in a positive manner. And that's what I do.
Let's take a look at the first video from the latest Rollins Band album, The End of Silence. This is Low Self-Opinion. Rollins Band with Low Self-Opinion. Were you writing that about a particular person?
Yes.
Who?
Me.
Okay, I figured it might be autobiographical.
Yeah, sure.
Is that generally true in your songs?
Uh-huh, pretty much.
Okay.
Except for one song on the record, which is just about someone I know who's on heroin, and I've never been on heroin, but I saw this person who I really like, so I wrote the song for him to say, hey man, don't blow it. Come on back here with us, the ones who are breathing. Yeah, I usually write about myself just so I can come from truth. You know, I can't write a song about you because I don't assume I know you, and working on assumption, it's not the way to do it for me. I like to come from my corner. That way I can be unrestrained in truth, and you can take it or leave it. But it is my version of the real thing, so.
Why are you so angry with yourself, though? Because if that's autobiographical, that song, you're really screaming at yourself.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to get over it. I mean, I was raised to be humiliated. I mean, I was told I shouldn't have been born. I was told I was this, I'll never be anything. My teacher said, you know, you'll never be anything, you'll never do this, you'll never do that. And after a while, you believe it. You know, I would feel bad about myself, and I'm still trying to get a sense of myself. I'm 31, I'm still, you know, trying to feel my feet on the ground. And so I wrote that song because if you notice the lyric at the end of the song, the guy's falling out the window, and the other guy catches him. It says, you know, if you can see the you that I see when I see you, you'd see yourself so differently. It's like saying you're not all that bad. I mean, and it is talking about a self-opinion, because you can run yourself into the ground, and someone else might see you and go, well, it's all right. You're cool. Just hang in there, because it's a very positive song. Because I see a lot of people who are down on themselves. It's hard not to be, and it's just kind of the song is hopefully just reaches out and goes, whoa, I got you. No, don't eat it. You know, it's okay. Brush yourself off and keep hitting, you know.
Great. All right, more coming up with Henry Rollins in the second 60 of MTV's 120 Minutes.
Into the future.
I've ever been able to talk to on the whole planet. His name is Joe Cole. He's my best friend for about 7 years, and he was a roadie in Black Flag, roadie in the Rollins Band, and my roommate. and, you know, kind of my other half, and we were just like buddies, you know. We did everything together and went all over the world. And we were coming home from seeing a band at the Whiskey the other night, and we came home from the grocery store, and these guys came out of the bushes with guns, and they put guns in our faces, and they ordered us into our house. And I got to the front door and opened the door knowing they were going to take us in and waste us. And from behind me I heard a scuffle, and I heard gunshots, and the guy shot 4 times, shot my friend, and shot at me and missed me. One bullet went next to me into the door jamb, and the other one went wide and landed in the kitchen in a box of Alka-Seltzer. And my friend is dead, and I cleaned up his blood off the front porch myself. And so it's been a very rough, it's been very hard since December 19th, because it's tragic on every level you can think of. I mean, the guy died for nothing. I mean, he died because he went to the store. Wrong place, wrong time, you know. And the guy who killed Joe doesn't know Joe. He never would have killed Joe if he met him. And say if we catch him and we find him and kill him, well, Joe's still dead. You know, there's nothing you can do. It's just one of these things that is just so horrible. And you know, people ask me about it a lot, so I had to come up with something that would kind of nail it down very succinctly. And the way I've come to encapsulate it for you is a guy commits a crime and all the rest of the people do the time. I'm doing a life sentence because some guy killed my friend. I'm on death row now because my friend's dead forever, and every night I go to sleep, I keep seeing him. I keep seeing the guys come out of the bushes. You know, not a moment goes by where I don't think of my friend, because he's the nicest guy. I mean, he never hurt anyone, and he's just in the wrong place, wrong time. And you know, the cops told me, he said, well, basically the reason you're alive is because they shot your friend, because they're going to kill both of you. That's pretty much guaranteed. And your friend saved your life, which is, you know, great on the guilt trip, you know. You're like, oh, great. Yeah. I'm swinging on MTV, and my friend's in a plastic box in Burbank. And but at the end of the day, there is a very positive thing at the end of it. And you know, like, you're here. And I'm really glad. I'm glad you're breathing. You know, I'm really sincerely glad. I mean, all these people here watching, I don't even know them, and I like them because they're alive. Because the alternative is really bad. And so that's my opinion is, you know, you got to really hold on to life, and that's what the whole thing taught me.
Instead of playing another one of his videos,
I'm 95% black, and so there's a lot of great R&B and soul stations. I used to listen to WOL, The Drum, and it was all, you know, intense, you know, black network. And so I grew up with you know, stuff like Gladys Knight, Isaac Hayes. My favorite album in 5th grade was Hot Buttered Soul by Isaac Hayes. That's just one of the greatest albums I've ever heard. I still play it. So, you know, Marvin Gaye, stuff like that. And my mom was playing a lot of stuff like Miles Davis, just a lot of stuff.
What kind of kid were you in school? Were you a bully? Were you the type to be knocked around, or were you an average kid?
I was very crazed until I got sent to a disciplinary school. I was on Ritalin from about 3rd grade on, which is one of those, a drug which makes you go from to I will do what you say. You become like a Dalek. So I was kicked out of a couple of schools for just being reckless and wild and loud-mouthed, and I would just scream until I was hoarse. I was like nuts. And so they put the straitjacket drugs on me, and then in 6th grade they sent me to an all-boys school for 7 years. And you know, the buzz cut, the uniform, the teacher walks in and just says, all right, sit down, shut up. And you sat down, you shut up. So I did it 7 years of sitting down and shutting up from, you know, 8 a.m. till 3 p.m. And, you know, intense scholastic program, a lot of sports, you know, a lot of like boxing, wrestling, weightlifting, all that kind of stuff. And then I'd go home and crank my Ted Nugent albums and wish I had hair down to here and wish I could meet women. But, you know, you get raised in an all-boys school, you see them at bus stops, and you're like, wow, look at them.
What's that?
Wow. What do you say to them? You know, what do they do? And, like, then, you know, so it was kind of a weird experience.
I still haven't figured it out. Stick around for more.
I have a book company called 21361, and it was just my birthday. And I've been publishing my own work since 1984, and now it's 1992, and we're now publishing other people as well, which is what I've always wanted to do, because I'm more interested in the other guy's book than mine. And we're working with a couple of great writers, and we're looking to work with a few more. And we have a small office in Los Angeles, and we crank out these books whenever we can, money permitting. It's a very small company. And we're working with some cool people. We're working with Alan Vega, the guy from Suicide, tremendous writer, great human being. An amazingly talented writer named Bill Shields. He's a Vietnam veteran. He's a Navy SEAL in Vietnam, and he is in touch with a very heavy thing. I mean, he saw a lot of death, and his writing, it really puts you in it. And we're working on some other things. You know, don't want to hatch the chickens, you know, while there's still eggs. But we work with a guy named Don Bima, great writer. He's on his second book. We're going to put it out in the fall. And, you know, I do my own stuff. I just released my second book this year called Black Coffee Blues. And I just like this book idea. It's what I do with every penny I earn that I can spare. I make books. And, you know, we operate a nice, healthy loss per year. We're politically correct and in the red every year. No matter what we do, we always seem to blow it. But we're having a lot of fun, and we're getting out some great books, and so it's fun.
Okay, will the Rollins Band be playing out this spring, summer?
All over. We just finished 5 weeks with the Chili Peppers in Europe like 3 days ago. That was awesome. Great band. And we're going to be doing America all through the year, Japan, Australia, back to Europe again. Yeah, we'll be playing all over America on and off here and there until about November. So one way or the other, we'll probably roll through some major city where someone lives. So if you ever wanted to catch us, it's like catching the flu. All you have to do is go outside. We're there.
So no excuse.